Hi, it's Pastor David Tart on this journey with you called Free to Be. And as you see, we're on chapter 24, lesson 25 of the book. The title of the lesson is Off the Merry-Go-Round. You know, growing up, I'm sure you remember playing on merry-go-rounds, and merry-go-rounds are kind of interesting because you feel like you're going, but you're really going nowhere. You're moving around and round and round, but you're just not making any progress. And today we're going to talk about that. But before I get a little deeper into it, I want to say something that it's good to have goals in life. It's good that you have a sense of direction of where you're going. You're at the age now when you're contemplating what you're going to be when you grow up, doctor, lawyer, plumber, whatever, and it's hard, but it's good to have goals. In fact, I always say that it's an advantage to you that I don't have, because you can try different goals. You can try to be something and that not work out, and you can start over, trying something new. But the older you get, the less time you have to figure out what you want to be. So right now, it's very important that you start trying new things and experimenting with what you are, what your gifts are, what you want to be as you mature. And remember, it's always important that you find a profession, a goal in life that you can do. There's an old story about when the farmer decided to send the barnyard to school. And so he started a milking class and he started an egg laying class. Well, the cows flunked egg laying, even though they succeeded and made A's in the milk class. And the chickens totally failed milking, but they got A's in laying eggs. So you got to find what works for you and really try to achieve those goals. It's good to have goals. It's good to have direction in your life. God has blessed you with gifts, and life is discovering what those gifts are and how you can follow them in things that you do. So I encourage you to have goals. Even if the goal doesn't work out, you learn from it and you find another goal. Sometimes failure is the best thing that can ever happen to you. But anyway, what happens though, and this is where I want to get into the lesson deeper, is at a time in life we can feel like we get on a merry-go-round, especially when it comes to a thing we call good works. When we always live our lives trying to think we have to prove ourselves. When we think we have to be the best. And so we get stuck on this merry-go-round of just always trying, always seeking something, and just not quite making it. It's like, you want to be something, you work real hard for it, and somehow that's not good enough. And so you try to be more. And same way with our faith. We try to be a good Christian, right? We try to do the right things. But unfortunately, because we're sinners, that never works out. And we can get so stuck in trying to please others that we really get stuck on this sense of really not going anywhere in our lives. We have a sense of just not achieving what we want to achieve. It's a merry-go-round of good works, because we can begin to ask ourselves, what is good enough? I mean, there are some denominations that say you have to be baptized the right way. You have to be dipped in the water. Well, in order to be saved, well, how do you know that's good enough? How do you know you're a good enough Christian? How do you know you did your baptism the right way? And so you get stuck in a merry-go-round, and you seems like there's no way to get off of it. But that's not the only merry-go-round we get stuck on. We can also, at times in our lives, get the feeling of being stuck. And in particular, that happens around depression. It's normal to be depressed. It's part of being life. It's just going through hard times and things not working out like you want them to. Dreams don't get fulfilled and so forth and so on. There might be already days when you feel kind of stuck in sadness, and it can be really hard, and you can feel like you're in a never-ending merry-go-round of struggle and problems and wondering if there's ever going to be an end to it. That's life. And this time I really want to talk to you about a very dangerous merry-go-round, and that is the merry-go-round of feeling life is futile, that there's nothing to live for. And let's be blunt, suicide is really done by someone who feels like they're stuck on a merry-go-round, that there is no hope, that there is no light at the end of the tunnel, that nothing's ever going to change. And I always want to tell you, that if you ever feel that way, if you feel like you're stuck and that nothing's going to get better, that's when the time is. You need to reach out. You need to find somebody you can talk to. There's wonderful therapies out there. There's people who can help you cope with your feelings of helplessness and being stuck and move you to a different place. So never give in to the merry-go-round. And that really leads to the point of what I want to talk about today, is that as baptized people, we remember that God gets us off the merry-go-round in our baptism. We don't have to live our lives stuck on a merry-go-round of good works, or a merry-go-round of sadness, a merry-go-round of defeat, a merry-go-round of thinking that life can never be better. We don't have to be that, because we are baptized. We are children of God. You are a child of God. You have been given the gift of life. You've been given certain abilities that nobody else has. Think about it. In the history of the universe, in the history of time, there's never been a you. There's never been a you. You are special because you're here, and God in your baptism claimed you as God's, and you are always special and chosen, and you don't have to be anything that God created you not to be. You are you, and you don't have to prove yourself to anybody, and you don't have to prove your faith to anybody. And you don't have to get stuck on a merry-go-round of trying to prove that you're baptized right or that you're committed to Jesus right. You don't have to go on that merry-go-round. Because in the Lutheran Church, we believe when you're baptized, you are blessed with God's love and grace. You are a child of God forever, and God will never let you go. You have the gift of life and the gift of faith and the gift of grace and the gift of new life. That's yours. And nobody can take that away. You are never a failure. You're never a failure, because you are a child of God, and God doesn't make failures. You are a child of God. Never, ever forget that, and never, ever, ever let anybody take that away from you. It's precious to have that. It will get you through so many times in trouble, is to remember that you belong to God. And which leads to the next thing I want to talk about, and that each day is a new day. Each day is a new beginning. That's what baptism says. That's what Martin Luther says. Every day we wash off the new, and we start the new day. It's like every day we get off the merry-go-round of yesterday, and now we have a new day today. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what successes you had, whatever failures you had, whatever happened yesterday is gone. Now you have a new day. You're never stuck on a merry-go-round, because you can get up every day thinking, I've got a new beginning. I've got a new day ahead of me. Today I have to to live as God calls me to be today. We get off the merry-go-round every single day. So what does it mean? It means we're on a journey. Life is never a merry-go-round. Life is a journey of discovering who we are and whose we are. It's a life of enjoying God's wonderful creation. It's a life of enjoying what it means to love and be loved. It's discovering every day new things. Life is always a journey, and we never know what lies for us tomorrow. It only takes one good thing, one little small good thing, to turn life around. And as baptized people, we live with that sense of journey. We don't live on any merry-go-round. Well, keep the faith, and we'll see you at the next lesson.